Having served as president of U.S. BRIC, our guest is preparing to continue her journey in leadership, announcing her campaign for the state's first congressional district. We'd like to welcome Catherine Templeton, businesswoman and Republican challenger to the incumbent Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Catherine, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Taylor.
So you are no stranger to politics. You ran for governor in 2018, but this is your first race since then. Why run for the state's first congressional district?
You know, never say never, right? I think that the Low Country deserves a consistent conservative voice. We have serious problems, both locally and nationally, and we need serious people to go and deal with them.
And now you were invited to Trump Towers in 2016 to discuss with then President-elect Trump about leading the U.S. Department of Labor. He called you a triple threat. I want to talk about why triple threat and what that meant to you at that time.
Well, it was an honor to be called up to Trump Tower and meet with President Trump. You know, you never know why he says what he says. You know, I think the newspaper said that he called me a triple threat because as a mother, you know, I was part of the PTA, part of the Boy Scout board, part of the Sunday school, you know, the Sunday school coordinator, yet I was in Columbia serving the state and busting bureaucracy. We killed about 68 million in waste in 18 months, you know, reduced bureaucracy by 25%. And then at the time, and it's very salient now, at the time I was credited with writing the toughest immigration law in the nation. They still during this presidential called it the toughest immigration law in the nation. And so, you know, what better candidate, I guess, for Secretary of Labor.
And now that is one of your key issues is illegal immigration. I want to discuss what's going on at the border right now and your solution to that.
Absolutely. So when I was the Secretary of Labor for South Carolina, we got ahead of it. We had to fight. We had to fight all the way to the Supreme Court against, ironically, the Obama-Biden administration to make sure that it was constitutional. And I got to enforce our immigration law against illegal immigrants. When I was Secretary of Labor, we actually cracked down on sanctuary cities, and that's a local issue, right? So in South Carolina, because of the law that we drafted, if your town decides to be a sanctuary city, you, as their resident, have a private right of action to sue to stop it. You don't have to wait on the mayor or a meeting or anything else. You can do it yourself. So we cracked down on sanctuary cities to keep South Carolina safe. We also created a criminal enforcement unit that's now at SLED that helps our local law enforcement. I mean, I know you've heard the sheriffs now talk about the different illegal immigrants that they have in the jails. And we have to have help from our state to get them to the feds, to get them out of the country, to keep us safe. And then finally, we put in E-Verify because our jobs are so important, right? That hits every one of us at home. We put in E-Verify so that the good employers could comply and that the bad employers we could crack down on them. We shut down businesses that were illegally operating. We increased our compliance, we increased our audits, and we actually saved the taxpayers money doing it.
So do you think that we need to implement those issues now nationwide?
Absolutely. I mean, the solution is simple. It's not easy, right? Right now we talk about President Biden's Remain in Mexico policy versus President Trump's. And I look forward to supporting President Trump's America First policies because all we need to do is change one word in one statute. From the Attorney General may to the Attorney General shall require that they remain in Mexico until we decide whether or not they need to come. We don't need 400 pages, a lot of arguing in a bill. We just need one word changed to turn the spigot off first. So again, we need business people. We need, you know, I'm a lawyer. I know how to write a law, right? I've had experience in labor. And I mean, that's my wheelhouse. It's easy.
Now, you mentioned that you look forward to supporting Trump's America's First policy. I do have to bring up that he recently endorsed Nancy Mace, and she is kind of using that to push you to drop out of the race. But you are still here.
Of course.
How does that make you feel?
So we're going to let the voters of the first district decide. That's the endorsement that I need. And of course, I support President Trump. We have always been in good shape. I mean, right? You said it. he offered me a job and called me a triple threat. And I look forward to supporting his policies when I get there.
And now, how can we support you? Do you have any events coming up?
Yes, thank you very much. We are actually just popping the clutch, as people might think. We have 60 days, 65 days until this vote, June 11th. People don't realize that. Can I look to camera? June 11th, guys.
It's coming up quickly.
It's coming up. It's coming up, and the momentum has been amazing. People want a different choice than someone who runs to camera. They want someone who runs to work. Someone called me a workhorse instead of a show horse, and I'm not sure I love to hear that, but it's great, right? That's what we need. That's what the Low Country wants. So June 11th, TempletonForCongress.com. And go look and see. Go do your due diligence and see if I'm who you want.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and best of luck to you.
Thank you for having me.
We're back in 2 minutes.